Hey everyone, this is Stephanie at Live Your Language, where I talk all about tips, ideas, and resources for raising your child bilingually. I'm Stephanie, a second language acquisition PhD student and a mother to a child that I'm raising in my non-native language. He's 2 years old, he's super energetic, so today I'm going to be talking about tips that you can use to raise your child in an immersive environment, specifically your toddler or your baby, in order to give them the best chances of hearing high quality, high quantity language input. Now, if you're like me, you would love to go on vacation, you would love to go visit a country where that language that you're teaching your child is spoken. But unfortunately, that's not always possible. So today I'm going to be talking about little ways that you can bring that abroad atmosphere, specifically the language aspect, into your house to make sure that your child is surrounded by language as much as possible. So let's dive in. By far the best resource that your child has for growing up bilingually and hearing speech every single day is you. Child-directed speech is so important, and both the quality and the quantity of the speech they hear really matters. That's why, as much as possible, it's really important to do your best not to switch into the majority language. One thing that has really helped me is to keep my phone on me at all times, and I have a dictionary app installed. What used to happen is I would have to make a mental note to remember to look something up if I got into a situation where I didn't know how to say what I wanted to say. So I would just make a mental note and try and remember later on to look up that word or that phrase. Well, what inevitably happened is I would just forget, and then the very next day I'd be reading the same book or in the same situation and I would still not have that word or phrase. Now I keep my phone on me at all times with the dictionary app. When I come into a situation where there's a word or phrase I don't know, I just say, hang on, let me look that up. I look it up really quickly, and then I can say something that's a lot more natural and a lot more rich than what I would have said in the simplified version. But there's always those situations where you would like to say something, but you just don't really have an idea of what to say. Well, one of the things I do is I just describe something that's in the vicinity. Because it's really close and you can point to it, there's plenty of context, and just try and describe it in as rich detail as possible. Colors, shapes, textures, whatever you're able. Another idea is to describe one of your favorite memories. Sometimes I talk about one of my favorite vacations or my time abroad or one of the family members that he hasn't seen in a while, and I think that that has really helped. Early on, I learned a lot of nursery rhymes, so one of the things I'll do to fill up some empty space in input is just to sing a song that I've learned. It's really good for changing diapers or driving in the car, and hopefully he really enjoys it. The next thing I want to mention as a resource for creating an immersive environment for your child to be raised bilingually is books. I know it's been said 1,000 times, but it is so important. Books are key. Did you know that the number of books a child has in his or her home is directly linked to the vocabulary that they know? That's why it's really important to try and read every day. And the plus side, if you're like me, a non-native speaker, is that books provide a really fabulous model for grammar and also introduce new vocabulary that might not be completely natural to you. Another source of input that I like to use to create an immersive environment for my child to raise him bilingually is conversation partners. I have a conversation partner I speak with every week. We do a language exchange, which means 50% of the conversation is in my native language, English, 50% is in her native language, French. So what I'll often do is I'll schedule the call to start just about 30 minutes or so before my son is scheduled to wake up from his nap. So that way we'll get the English part done first, and then when my son wakes up and he's around and he's listening, he can hear both her and me speaking French together. That way it's not just me, and he's also hearing a native speaker as well. The next piece of advice that I have for raising your child bilingually is to live your life in the minority language. If you're like me, before you had kids, you had an entire routine. It might have involved news and podcasts and music and all sorts of things that you would listen to throughout your day. Well, why not try to find those same resources or something like it, or even better, in your target language? That way you can still enjoy and you can avoid switching languages, and then also maybe your child can enjoy some of those things as well. Those are my tips for creating an immersive environment for raising your child bilingually. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of the next videos. I'll see you guys in the next video, and thanks for watching.